You know, this node, if I don't do it correctly, I'm not going to be able to gain power, blah, 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 blah. Who cares? Hey, welcome back to the channel. All right, it's time for the first war of the season. I'm pumped up for this. I am extremely excited. I love war. It really hurt me to have to take a step aside, but I believe I found a good situation, and it's time. It's time to get back into it. This is, you know, I'm in SSx-1, perennial Masters tier. So let's get to it. Let's get started. We've brought Archangel and Guardian to war, two of my favorite champions to use. Going up against this Nick Fury with the steady build up Fury. Obviously that could be a bit of a problem there if we get the debuffs on us. Power alternator, really just something to kind of keep an eye on. I'm not too worried about it, and you'll see why in this fight. And then heavy hitter, which does add some complications to this fight for sure. I did do some duels beforehand. I felt like I had the spacing really well. I'm going to be wanting to punish his heavy with my heavy. Really just not very concerned about this. More just kind of excited to get back into it and get in the flow of things here. So not going to be timing anything and trying to like cancel out his second life. And so I'm just getting through this first life as quickly as possible. We see RNG's going just fine. I was holding block in hopes of making it so he would not throw his special one. You can see me do that throughout the fight there. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And then, you know, it just is what it is. You're going to see that, I mean, this looks like it's going beautifully, right? He does throw his SP1. I did leave myself open there a little bit, but here's where I don't know. I knew the spacing was wrong. And instead of just letting it go and baiting another heavy and punishing it with my own heavy, getting the spacing better, I decided to punish it. Don't do that. Do not do that. It's a bad idea, as you see. Got parried, and what are you gonna do? Healed back up and went in there, was able to start off with some intercepts, get the bleeds going. In a way, and we'll talk about this later, it almost felt good to get the first death out of the way. Here's how you really should do it. I could have even waited just another like 1/10 of a second there. You saw the initial resist, but then the heavy is of course gonna go ahead and see it through. So Fury's down. It doesn't feel good, but it is what it is. Like I said, it almost felt good to get that out of the way. And then I knew I had a fight coming up. My next fight was with Guardian, and Guardian is just, he's my security blanket. You know, I mean, Doom is, Guardian is the tech version of it. We're going up against this EMP modification, enhanced energy attacks, burden of might. The only real thing you're going to see come into play here a little bit is the burden of might, and I'm going to make some adjustments as we go through the fight. It's going to take a little bit. Havok does have a little bit of the energy resistance himself, but I think the really important part to point out here, and if you've watched my channel for a while, you know I absolutely love Guardian. I love using him whenever I can, and I think he can be used so frequently and so very well, actually, is that this is a SIG 200 rank 3 Guardian. I wanted him as my prestige tech champion, and I just love him. I think you get a lot of value out of his SIG 2, not just the prestige. But the important part to keep in mind is that at SIG 200 at rank 3, he has 8,591.92. Don't forget that 0.92 energy resistance. And so you're seeing that shock on me. I'm healing. I mean, I'm obviously healing a little bit from the plasma on me too, but where this shock is doing what looks like 21 damage. It's doing nothing. It is absolutely doing nothing. I'm throwing my SP3s. Of course, you can do bigger damage here by throwing your SP2s with Guardian, you know, the SP1 to SP2 cycle. That actually is even a little bit faster. Spinnaker has been testing that and came up that it doesn't just seem faster, it actually is. So those of us who've played Guardian know that. You can check out his channel, Spinnaker. A lot of great cool mojo stuff too. But Guardian's also great for this fight because he's keeping that armor up so that when the plasmas detonate, they do no damage to me. So it doesn't matter that I'm doing energy damage to Havok. Havok's clearly going down. I mean, we're a minute and a half into this fight. Havok's already at 50% health. I'm not sweating this. I'm not worried about it. The only thing that's happening is I'm evading some of his hits and some of his specials. And then as a result, I'm losing my power. And so I decided I'm just going to block these specials. I'm just going to start blocking everything, even when he goes unblockable. That's something I don't think a lot of people know, is that when a mutant champion throws an unblockable special, Guardian can block them. It'll only cost him 1 of his force field charges. You can see I got 11, 12. It doesn't matter. And you see how no damage is being done from blocking the unblockable specials. We'll get another one up here too, where it even looks weird because I'm going to take a physical hit. It doesn't matter. And so I'm not triggering Dex, which is allowing me to get to my SB3 a little bit quicker. Really, the fight would have been fine. And if I really did want to just speed this up, I had told myself this even somehow gets close to timing out. So here it is. You see that? He just takes the block. It doesn't matter. You see the resist there. I lose 1 of the force fields. But if I really needed to speed this up, what I would do is I would get very close to my special 2. I would land a heavy, which would bring up an additional armor up, and then I would throw the special 2. The fight was going so well, and honestly, I kind of wanted to show you all the Guardian could block these unblockable specials, and that you don't need to do it. Right? This is not even full 3 minutes into the fight. And we're going to get down this champion without throwing our special 1, our special 2, and this champion being Havok has some really nice energy resistance, which it does counter Havok, right? He's doing, it does counter Guardian. He's doing energy damage. So Guardian's awesome. I took an off-season fight on a hit monkey on Rage. He destroyed that too. I hope I get to continue to use him in War, but that was a very particular fight. So we'll see if that happens. And Guardian's cool. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Then we came on for these next 2 fights here. This node, if I don't do it correctly, I'm not going to be able to gain power, blah, 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 blah. Who cares? I'm taking in Archangel, meaning let's parry. Let's get the heavy going. We're going to take a blocked hit or 2 to let the poisons get ramping up there, right? The more bleeds we have on, the more likely we are to have our blocked hits apply the poison. Then when we go for the heavy, we're getting more neuros. And then it's pretty cool here. We've got the 3 neuros. And because my Archangel is a high enough sig, I actually have pulled him twice in the last 48 hours. Ridiculous, right? Sometimes when you get a nice gift, you get a ton of them. And I felt like I was starting to actually kind of gain some power again there. I'm not sure it turns off the node or not, but again, it's irrelevant. Torch is down. Archangel did his job, which is if you can bleed him, you can poison him, he can kill him. And then we're going to go on to this Rag Thor here. With how quickly the fight went with Human Torch, I felt pretty confident, even though this Thor has 185,000 health. That's a pretty beefy boy. That we weren't probably even going to get to 20 hits in the fight, right? Because 20 hits, and that's probably why Thor is placed here, is they're hoping that you get yourself into trouble with the hit counter. You're not able to get enough special to throw, enough power to throw a special, and then you got a problem because Thor is going to go berserk, get to his SB3, and he will kill you. But as you see, Archangel's like, yeah, we're not going to have to worry about that. Also, I'm pretty sure he's turning this node off. I'm gaining power, and that fight is over. So I was really pumped up about that. I didn't like, of course, having the death, but we'll talk about that afterwards. I was actually supposed to even take another fight and move to the base of Mini Boss Island. Put my phone down, went to get some work done, checked back like 2 minutes later, and I had moved the wrong direction. Fortunately, there's plenty of awesome players in my BG, and they were able to take down the fight I was supposed to get. So I was a little disappointed at that. It would have been handled pretty nicely. That's why I had brought White Magneto, and I was going to place the pre-fight on MCoC and then take him down with Archangel. So it was going to be a pretty simple fight there because Archangel makes those simple. But it is what it is. And then here we have, I think we're going to take a look at my defenders. I always like to keep track of those if I can. And here's the thing. Oh no, we're going to take a look at the MVPs first. Cool. We did win the war. So I was excited about that. It always feels nice to get a nice start off to the season. Space Bastards played very well. This was a very close war, but congratulations and great job to the MVPs, at least on the way Kabam calculates it. A J-Will, Asian Sensation, and then my buddy JT in my own BG. He and I played this game alongside each other off and on for years. He's a fantastic player. And then we'll take a look at my defenders here. And as you can see, my defenders, they're very good defenders. I do place with 5 of 5 Mystic Dispersion, and they didn't get a kill. This was, before the war started. They didn't get a kill. Like I said, Space Bastards played very well. They clearly are a good alliance and good at wars. But I'm going to continue to track this. I think my defense will get some kills. I, of course, would like my defense to get more kills than I give up. But as long as we're winning, I'm happy. As long as my alliance is happy, I'm happy. And they are working with my schedule. There's a few bumps in the road, but you know what? It's War 1. I knocked the rust off there at the beginning of the war myself there too. And honestly, it felt good to get the pressure of the Deathless Season off, right? I mean, it was starting to mount and weigh on me, and getting it done and over with, it just felt good. And we can just now concentrate on winning the next fight. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Take care. I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.